To Be Hero X episode 23 shared to us the charming tale of a dog and his beloved owner. Interestingly, Ahu's inspiration to become a hero was X, while the villain of his origin story was Nice. These two didn't show up for a long time in this episode, but of course, I will be talking a lot about them, more than necessary. I know that it's already been hinted somehow in the show's opening theme, but it's finally confirmed in episode 23 that X's powers are based on magicians. With a snap of his fingers, he makes impossible things possible and fictional things reality. But there are things called magic tricks too. But even if a magician's magic are just tricks or sleight of hand, he manages to make a lot of people believe what he wants them to believe. Despite having so many eyes on him, he is still able to fool a lot of people in plain sight. I wonder if X's powers also have some tricks on it. But whether he can really do magic or they're just tricks all along, he is still a very fascinating character. Even in a world full of advanced technology and people with supernatural powers, magic would still not fail to amaze people. But for someone who is extraordinary, I have a feeling that his weakness may be something opposite to magic. I think there is something in which X is sort of weak against, and it's sugar. He is weak to it in a sense that it looks like he needs to consume it on a daily basis, especially his favorite X soda. He wants it so much that he can patiently wait for a vending machine to get repaired just not to miss the X soda right in front of him. I also find it interesting that he is counting on Granny to fix the machine for him. I know that it was most likely because he was just being a patient customer who lets the owners fix their property, but I think it would be refreshing if he's actually not a techie person. If things related to technology will be among his weaknesses, then that will be an interesting take on the magic versus science trope. The teleportation ability appears to be something in between magic and science, though. It's an ability that their technology has already invented because of Moon's device. But it's also an ability that X is capable of. And that is why a lot of people suspect that it was X who brought Nice on top of the building here. But there is something that doesn't make sense about that idea. I will elaborate about that after I discuss what the heck might be going on with Nice. After the heartbreaking smile incident, we all expect Nice to either have a change of heart or be too depressed. But surprisingly, he just went back to his old ways. Yes, we get to see the despicable Nice from episode 20 again. And he is even uglier in the new art style in episode 23. It's unfortunate that we were not able to get a satisfying conclusion of the Nice redemption arc. Or was there? It felt like all that build up from episodes 21 and 22 were put to waste. But I don't think the events from the smile incident were really forgotten by the writers in episode 23. It was Nice who has been forgetting things. Remember from the previous episodes that Nice was being reminded about why he wanted to become a hero every time Smile is with him? But if he is trying to forget Hero Smile, no wonder he can no longer remember why he had been working so hard to remain a hero in the first place. Nice appears to be having selective amnesia, and it even got worse when he was at the top of the building. Whether he was forgetting things subconsciously or deliberately, I think this act of forgetting is his way to cope. That's the method he knows, or might even be very familiar with, in order to survive the cruel world he's living in. But Does his condition excuse him from the wrong actions he had done? No way. Even as a nice fan, I think he should still go behind bars. He doesn't deserve to be a hero. But that doesn't mean that he doesn't deserve to be given another chance, right? The beginning of Nice's mental breakdown at the end of episode 23 was triggered by the time when Shangda informed him that he was surpassed by a dog. But was being lower than a dog indeed the biggest shock to him that caused him to crash out? Was it simply because it crushed his pride? Maybe it is. Or maybe it's actually due to something else. Before Shanta mentioned about a dog beating Nice in the rankings, he said that Nice's chances in becoming a part of the top 10 were all ruined because he was defeated by the dog. And that made Nice freak out so much. Then he starts to make excuses for his failure. And then he starts to think about what he might be so afraid of deep inside. And we no longer need to guess about it, since he said it himself. He was afraid of not being a hero anymore. He cannot be like Hero Smile anymore. All the sacrifices he did to achieve his lifelong dream had become pointless. No wonder he went mad. Actually, there was already something very wrong with Nice on this scene. With a drop of fear, he could still be generally fine, like with what happened to Ghostblade. Nice himself even managed to escape with his consciousness intact when he spotted the drones. But this scene had confirmed that he was having hallucinations. Hallucination that he caused by himself. Look how horrified he was by just imagining fear consuming him. His pre-existing germophobia is making things even more difficult for him. But anyway, this scene clearly shows that he was still traumatized about what happened to Smile. He became so afraid of fear because he is so afraid of the same thing happening to him. He is very afraid of dying the same way. Should we still feel sorry for Nice, despite being a scumbag? Well, whether you feel sorry for him or not, there is one thing that he definitely needs. He needs help. Unfortunately, the person he runs to for help is one of the main sources of his trauma. Or maybe there was indeed someone else who managed to help him. As mentioned earlier, there's a theory about X saving Nice once again by bringing him on top of the billboard on this scene. But if ever that happened, that would mean that there had been a time skip, since this scene in the warehouse happened in the evening, while this scene in episode 1 happened during the day. Moreover, Miss J and her team had been looking around for Nice that they reached the top of the building not long after Nice did this. So with that, it seems unlikely for X to have simply brought Nice up there after this scene at the warehouse. Something else must have happened. Hopefully, episode 24 will reveal that. Assuming Nice has been corrupted by fear on this scene, maybe he caused a rampage somewhere, but somehow got back to normal at this time? It's possible that X had helped in bringing Nice back to normal, like with what happened with Dragon Boy. Either way, we need an explanation on why there had been glitches on Nice's ad. We also need to know why the ad turned off at the time Nice was floating down. And the most mysterious part to me were the birds which just flew across Nice. There's no way for this scene to be a coincidence, right? These are questions we had been wondering about since episode 1. And we still don't have the answers till episode 23. There are even more. For instance, if Nice indeed had memory loss on this scene, then how did he know that he could fly down? He even knew his signature pose. Or was that really Nice? Oh, I won't be surprised if many of them are still not clarified by the last episode of season 1. Or maybe there had been a few hints? Well, I had been wondering why Nice in this official illustration has him being surrounded by doves when he doesn't seem to have the power to control them. After all, it's actually X who can command them. Then, this might be X's doing? Or could this whole scene be a hallucination that the magician is making us see? Then perhaps this part was a lie too? Maybe Nice didn't really die? I would want to believe that as a Nice fan, but I don't want to cling to false hope. And if ever X is really involved with what's happening in this scene, I hope it was not his intention to drag Linling into this mess. My poor baby! Speaking of Linling, he is finally coming back on the next episode. I am overjoyed! And most likely, the reason he appears to be cooperating despite what happened was for an opportunity to fight against Isol. I don't know who to cheer for. And I have no idea how their fights are going to be in just one episode. Or maybe all of them will just face against X and everything will just end with a snap. Speaking of X, he doesn't seem bothered about the danger he's in, even with his real identity exposed. And he appears to know Zero on a personal level too. That's so intriguing. I am so excited to see how X's art will connect everything. And I have a feeling that he will also have a strong connection to Linling. And what about you? What are your thoughts about this episode or on what may happen next? By the way, whether you agree with the things I said in this video or not, that's okay. But if you had enjoyed it somehow, I would appreciate it if you click the like button. That always motivates me to create more To Be Hero X content. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again. Take care!